So I'm thinking some more, just as I go, about a video I made a couple of years ago now, and it's titled "Truly Amazing That the Whole of Humanity is Now Connected as One by the Internet." And I've watched it again, and it really does um, stun me. Basically, I'm just bowled over by the potential for what we have created with our internet. And the key thing is to regard the internet as a single brain for the earth. So all of the people are neurons in that brain, and they're interconnected together the same way as the human brain is constructed, with the neurons interconnected. And the whole thing makes a brain. Billions of neurons interconnected makes a brain. And so the internet is essentially a brain for the earth, in that the people are neurons and the internet interconnects all the neurons. And so the earth does have a brain. And it is absolutely amazing. I can't comprehend what this means. And the thing is, it's not even a potential, it is a reality. The earth does have a brain constructed of billions of humans who are acting as neurons, and the internet interconnecting those neurons. So the earth literally does have a brain. And it is absolutely amazing that the earth is essentially an entity, a being in its own right. And the earth could be regarded as a body, and then the internet is a brain for that body. And then I'm thinking that there's probably other civilizations out there somewhere. And so there are other planets with billions of entities on it. And so the universe seems to have lots of brains in the form of planets and beings on that planet. And so there are lots of brains around the universe that will eventually want to connect to each other, I'd imagine. But I just can't understand, I can't comprehend what it means for the earth to have its own brain. What does it mean if the internet acts like a brain for the earth? What could we achieve? What would we want to achieve? Would we be able to work together as one to achieve tasks? It's hard to understand what might be possible with this arrangement of our people and the internet and our arrangement as a brain. It is phenomenal. And I don't understand how the brain works in terms of being able to concentrate on one thing and having some control of what it focuses on. So I don't understand, for example, how our brains work, are constructed together such that the neurons interconnected together develops a consciousness, and then that consciousness has an identity and it has its own will, and it has the ability to focus on single thoughts. So if we could find a way to harness the billions of people on Earth via the internet, we could get the whole Earth to concentrate on a single project, a single thought. And so the potential is just impossible to comprehend, it's just too much. There is something to this, I think. I don't think it's just a flight of fancy. I don't think I'm losing my mind. I think the Earth essentially does have its own brain. And I suppose the issue is, can the Earth have a consciousness of its own in the same way that humans have a consciousness because of the interconnections of our neurons. So could the Earth be conscious itself? Could the planet essentially be alive and begin to have its own thoughts and single thoughts maybe? And I'm wondering if the internet could already be performing the job of a brain for the Earth. Is it happening already? In other words, is the Earth already using the internet as a brain? Is it already happening? Or is this just potential? Does the Earth have a consciousness of its own already because of our internet? Or it could be that the internet hasn't developed well enough yet to function as a brain, but the potential arrangement is there. The issue is, does the internet have enough ability to interconnect the neurons well enough to be able to create a brain? It is absolutely amazing it's not even amazing what might happen, it's what has happened. We have created a brain for the Earth, and the internet is functioning as a brain for the Earth already. That's already been achieved. So the question is, does the internet function well enough as a brain as it's constructed today? Is it good enough to function as a working brain that can achieve single tasks? And does this mean the internet gives the Earth its own identity? Is the internet an entity of its own? Is it conscious? Is the Earth conscious? Is the Earth alive, basically, because of our internet? If the internet can be regarded as a brain, then we've essentially given a brain to the Earth. So the internet has a brain. Is the brain conscious? Is our internet conscious? Is our internet alive? Could it be that interconnecting billions of minds together, as we have done with our internet, could it be sufficient to create a consciousness? So is the Earth alive? And are there other Earths around the universe that are also alive that we will contact one day? It is absolutely awesome and incredible how we have created a brain for the Earth, and so the Earth might actually be alive itself. And it's not even talking about potentially be alive. The arrangement is already there in place. In other words, the Earth is alive already. The only question is, does the internet have a consciousness? Does the fact that it's alive mean that it has an identity yet? Has it formed a consciousness? I don't know what might be possible or what this means. I just know that the arrangement is there. The Earth is constructed with the internet like a human being, it's like a consciousness. So the consciousness ability is there. The question is, does the arrangement of the internet serving as a brain, is that sufficient to form a consciousness, or is there some other element that I haven't considered? But I'm thinking the Earth might actually be alive, and it's just incomprehensible, it doesn't make sense. And I'm wondering if there's enough power to the individual neurons to function as a brain. In other words, does the construction of the internet, is it powerful enough to serve as a single brain? Or are there too many holes in its construction? Is it insufficiently powerful? But I don't think so. I think the internet is powerful enough to serve as a brain for the Earth. So in other words, I think the Earth has a brain, and even other words, the Earth is essentially alive itself. It has its own identity, and the Earth is alive. The issue, I suppose, is how alive is it? How developed is its consciousness? How capable is it? Does it have an identity yet? Can it form single thoughts yet? Or does it need to be connected to other planets who are constructed in the same way to form a more complex system? I don't know. I'm just stunned by what this means and what might be possible and what's happening and what will happen next. I simply don't know, but I know that it is happening. I just don't know how it will happen and what will happen next. I need to think some more. I don't know if I can come up with anything because it's just too much. It's just too amazing, too incredible, and I don't understand the ramifications yet. It's just absolutely stunning, and it is happening right now. It's just incredible.